My argument presentation for the ADI lab number 8. Um, okay, so the guiding question of this was, how does the way information is presented affect memory? And my claim is that when information is grouped into one object, it is easier to remember. So I think I might have actually done a little bit different of a procedure than I was supposed to, but I did something and I'd like to present it. So over here, the first part of the experiment was the number memorization. So if you look down at my little camera, I made a bunch of cards like I was supposed to, and I kind of laid them out in a sequence, looked at them for 10 seconds. I set a timer for 20 seconds, and then, so I looked at them for 10 seconds, I turned them over, and then for 20 seconds, I was just kind of in limbo, and then I was trying to recall what the sequence was as I flipped them over to see if I was correct. So I did 9 trials with 1 through 9 cards, and then I was able to see how many I remembered. So you can look down here at this plot. So for 1 card, I was able to remember it. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, I was able to remember the full sequence of the numbers in order. But once we got to 7 cards, I got mixed up a little bit and I missed one of the numbers. At 8 cards, I flip-flopped 2 of the numbers, so I was still only able to get 6 of them correct. And then at 9, I just kind of, when I was repeating the numbers in my head, completely went off the rails and missed 3 of them. Um, so I didn't do too hot once there was more than 6 cards. So I used this as evidence here in the numbers trial. I started failing at a 7 number sequence. I couldn't even remember more than 6 numbers, no matter how many were presented. And at 9 numbers, I could only remember 5 of them. So I'm using that as a piece of evidence. From the second experiment, what I did is I didn't see that there was actual note cards that like were given to us. I don't know if there were or weren't, but I wrote a little bit of code here. So you can run this code and it will give you a random sequence of letters. And so I can say like right now I have it set to be 9 long. I could set it to be 5 long. And so you see here I get a 5 letter string. And so what I did is I did 9 trials again with 1 through 9 letters. So first trial was 1, second 2, etc. So I ran this code. I looked at the letters for 10 seconds, and then I went to like a different tab and hid them for 30 seconds. And then I tried to recall as many of them as I could, and I checked myself. Like I wrote them down and then saw if it matched. And I did a lot better in this run. So you see here, I was able to recall everything up to 8 letter sequences. And then at 9 letters, I just missed one of them. So I'm also using this as evidence here. In the letters experiment, I didn't fail until there were 9 letter sequences. Even then, it was only by 1 letter incorrect. So to justify or explain that evidence, in the numbers trial, it felt like the more I tried to remember, the more I would forget, the more, excuse me, I would repeat the numbers in my head, and by the time 20 seconds was up, I had scrambled the order of the numbers, and the more numbers I had to remember, the more that they seemed to scramble in my head as I was repeating them. In the letters trial, I was able to think of a silly little acronym that made the letters easier to remember. This made it easier, and I didn't fail until the letters were 9 characters long, and even then it was only off by 1 character. So in the letters trial, since I didn't have it on separate flashcards, and I saw all of the letters together as one, I would like think of a way to remember this. Like, for example, if I saw PLQFN, I would think like, I don't know, please let Queen Fairy know. And just I would know that no is an N and not a K. And so I'd be repeating to myself, please let Queen Fairy know. And then I would easily remember it better. Um, and so I feel like that helped me out a little bit. All right, that is my presentation.